The discotheque, the newest trend in nightclubs in the United States, was pioneered by one of these three men. What is your name, please?
My name is Romye Agire.
My name is Romye Agire.
My name is Romye Agire.
Only one of these men is the real Romye Agire. The other two are imposters, and we'll try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Peggy Cass, Orson Dean, and Kitty Carlisle. On To Tell the Truth with your host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much. Welcome once again to Tell the Truth. Good evening, panel.
Good evening.
Hi, good friends all. We're brought to you this evening by Winston Filter Cigarettes. Panel, open up that envelope, if you will, now, and the contents you have not as yet seen. Follow along with me. I, Romye Agire, opened the first discotheque in New York City 4 years ago. Today, the discotheque is the most popular type of night spot in the country. A discotheque is a small, dark, intimate place where people dance the frug, the swim, the monkey, the shake, and the jerk to recorded music played over a very loud stereo sound system. On New Year's Eve of 1961, I opened a place called Le Club in New York. Later, I managed two other popular spots, L'Interdit and Ondine. Week before last, I opened the newest and most unusual discotheque on the eastern seaboard on a converted railroad barge moored at a pier on the south shore of Long Island. Signed, Romye Agire. And these three gentlemen all claim to be Romye Agire. We'll start the questioning, if we may, with Peggy Cass. Peggy?
Thank you, Bud. Gee, I've been in Ondine and I don't recognize anybody. Tell me, number 3, where is Ondine?
It's on East 59th Street.
Thank you. Number 1, who are the people that do the singing, if you can call it that, at Ondine?
The wild ones.
Thank you.
What?
The wild ones, he said. Number 2, does the name Igor Cassini mean anything to you?
Yes,
What does it mean to
the
you?
president of the club.
Thank you. Number 3, what's the name of your place
East
on Long
Quogue.
Island? What?
In East Quogue, you mean?
Yes.
The barge.
Well, that's the way. Number 1, does the name Alan J. Lerner mean anything to you in about discotheque?
Yes, he was associated with us at Ondine.
Thank you. Number 3, how much is a scotch and water at the bar at Ondine?
About $1.50.
Number 2, do you agree with that price?
$1.60.
Thank you. Boy, it gets higher and higher.
So do you.
Hit him again.
My mother's going to be furious.
Number 3, what is Arthur?
Arthur is the name of the newest discotheque in New York City.
Who owns it, number 3?
Sybil Burton and a group of people.
And who did Sybil Burton marry, number 3?
Christopher Jordan or Jordan Christopher, I don't know exactly how it goes.
Either way, it's wonderful, isn't it? Number 2, what is Jean's back door?
I don't know.
Number 1, do you know what Jean's back door is? Number 3?
I don't know.
Well, you should. It's competition for you out there. Number 1, what is the name of the body of water in which your barge rests? That thing with the orange peels around your barge. And number 3, what?
Great South Bay.
What is it?
Great South Bay.
2, do you agree with that?
Yes.
2 again. Why are there 2 turntables used in discotheques?
So you can pass the music from one to another without stopping.
All right. Number 3, what is the frug?
Oh, the frug is a dance that came from France and is now out of style.
What does agogo mean?
I just learned.
It was original.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number 2, where was L'Interdit?
At the Gotham Hotel.
Number 3, where did the music come from at L'Interdit?
From a discotheque, from a...
Thank you. Number 1, where did the discotheque originate?
Well, the discotheque originated in Cannes a few years ago.
Number 2, what is a discotheque that also has a band, like Arthur, for instance?
Well, there is Ondine and Arthur and Trudy Hellers.
Number 3, where is Trudy Hellers?
In the village.
Number 2, was Le Club open to the public or was it a membership place?
It is a membership place.
It is a membership place. Number 1, what happened to L'Interdit?
It was a private club, but for better business, it went public.
Thank you. Number 3, where is the Ginza?
The Ginzas on East 58th Street.
I sound like I know all about the
Tom Poston.
Say, number one, do you know the name of the new Israeli discotheque? Oh, Let My People Go Go. Have you heard of that? I feel I should thank Henny Youngman for that, as I do for so many other things. Number two, who's Timmy Everett?
Is the host at Il Mio.
Thank you. Number two, I went into Le Club the first time with Miss Stein. Do you know her first name?
Susan.
Yes, you sure do, all right. Number three, why do I associate Le Club with someone named Coquelin?
Oh, because he was one of the partners.
With you?
Yes.
I see. What's he doing now, number three?
I don't know.
Do you know number two?
He's opening a place in Southampton.
Number one, what's Coquelin doing?
That's all we have time for. It's time for you now to mark your ballots. So please mark them at once without change, without any consultation whatsoever. And vote for number one, number two, or number three. Team of challengers, of course, will receive $250 for every incorrect vote. Are all ballots marked, panel? Very well. Tom, for whom did you vote?
I made a mistake.
You did.
I did. I voted for number one. But I think I made... Anyway, I don't know why. First of all, I think Coquelin is doing something with an international kind of club that he's organizing now. So that's why I voted for him.
Peggy Cass.
I voted for number two because he knew the Tom's date was Susan Stein.
You knew Timmy Everett, too.
Orson Bean.
Well, number one said that the wild ones were at Ondine, and they're not. They're at Sybil's place. But that could have been just a slip of the tongue. Number three has steely eyes, like a genial Boniface has when the lights go on in the morning. But number two has a tan. I imagine he's been up scrubbing up the barge and everything.
Kitty Carlisle.
I thought they were all discotheque people because they all answered the question so well. But I think it's number two. I'm almost sure it's number two.
Very well, there we have it. With the votes all in and the minds made up, let's find out immediately which one of these three gentlemen, in truth, is Romye Agire. Will the real Romye Agire please stand up?
Well...
Thank you, sir. And continued success to you. Number one, what is your real name and what do you really do?
My name is Gustavo Novoa, and I'm the owner of the Burgos Gallery in New York.
And number three, what is your real name and what do you do, sir?
My name is Armando Noel, and I'm the producer of the Sandy Becker Show at WDW-TV.
Well, in checking the score, there was one incorrect vote. That's the one you're most interested in, and that is worth $250 to you, gentlemen. We thank you very much for sharing your evening with us. We hope you look back on it as a happy visit, because we certainly do. Goodbye, and God bless you. Very well, panel. Take a minute while we look at this brief film. Now let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Joyce Hoffman. My name is Joyce Hoffman.
My name is Joyce Hoffman.
All right, panel, follow along with your copies while I read. I wanted to give Orson plenty of time to take a long look. I, Joyce Hoffman, am the world's champion woman surfer. Surfing is the sport of standing balanced on a board while riding a wave as it roars in toward the beach. I have been riding surfboards for some 5 years. I practice about 2 hours every day in winter and 6 in summer. In addition to the Women's World Championship, I hold 9 other surfing titles. In a recent poll conducted by Surfer Magazine, I was chosen the best woman surfer in the world. Signed, Joyce Hoffman. three young ladies all claim to be Joyce Hoffman, obviously only one can be, we'll start the cross-examination with Orson Bean.
Well, you're all a credit to your race, I'll say that. Never make me proud to be an American. Miss Hoffman, number 2, what surfer picture is Leslie Gore currently starring in? Do you happen to know?
Well, I haven't watched many surfing movies lately. I couldn't tell you.
Number 1, do you know this surfer movie?
Oh, no, something like Bikini Beach or...
Something like that.
Yeah.
Number 3, the Beach Boys. Who are they?
A group that sing what they call surfing songs.
Yeah, do you know which surfing song contains the lyric, "Remember when I spilled Coke all over your blouse"?
No.
Don't know that, eh? Too busy surfing. Number 3, what is a spiral turn? I meant to say number 1. What is a spiral turn?
A spiral turn is doing a complete turn on the surfboard.
Number 2, what's the longest...
Kitty.
Number 3, does Ringo Beach mean anything to you?
Ringo Beach? No, ma'am.
What is the name of the beach near Santa Barbara?
Rincon? Rincon Beach.
Number 2, how heavy is your surfboard?
Mine is 23 pounds.
Number 1, are surfboards made out of balsa?
Some are, some aren't.
What is yours?
Styrofoam and fiberglass.
Number 2, what is the longest ride you've ever taken?
The time-wise or
No,
length?
lengthwise.
Oh, I'd say about 3/4 of a mile, 2 miles.
Number 3, what do you consider the best surfing beach in the world?
Probably in Hawaii, I would say.
Where?
Well, there are a number of good beaches. I don't know, I guess Makaha or something.
Number 2, do you wear anything special for surfing except a bathing suit?
Anything special besides the bathing suit? No.
Number 1...
That's enough, that's enough.
Tom Poston.
Is it my turn? Number 3, what would you say are the best waves and, like, the strongest surf in Southern California?
Where the best surf is in Southern California? Probably Rincon, near Santa Barbara.
Do you know another one that you might suggest, number 2? I'm thinking of...
I prefer Rincon because of the form of the waves.
I see. Number 1, there are waves that come in Hawaii that are really too steep to surf on. Some of the most experienced. What beach is that, number 1? Do you know, in Hawaii?
Makaha, I suppose.
Number 3, are those waves dangerous?
Well, if they're big, they are, yeah.
Well, okay. Do you know where San Onofre's is, number 3?
Yes.
Where is that?
In Southern California.
What is the peculiar quality of that particular strip of beach as far as being public or private owned? Do you know, number 3?
They have a club there. It's for club members.
Number 2, I saw a motion picture once.
Peggy Cass.
Number 1, can you name me 3 eastern beaches where surfing is good?
Virginia Beach, Gilgo Beach, and, let's see. I can't say another.
Number 2, could you name me another one?
I'm sorry, I'm from the West Coast. This is my...
Oh, okay. Tell me, number 3, how long a surfboard, what's the length of your surf? How tall are you, number 3?
5'7".
And how tall is your surfboard?
9 feet, 6 inches long.
Thank you. Number 2, what's a wetsuit?
A wetsuit is a rubberized suit that you would wear in the winter to keep you warm.
Do you wear it in the winter, number 2?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thank God it's the summer.
Orson. Number 1, how high a wave have you come in on?
Oh, 15 feet is the highest.
Thank you. Number 2, what's hot dogging?
That's it. That's all the time we have. It is time for you now to mark your ballot. So mark them at once. No changes permitted, and of course, no consultation. Vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. All ballots are marked. Very well. Tom, for whom did you vote this time?
Actually, I didn't vote. What do you think of that?
Well, I don't think.
Well, I voted for number 1. San Onofre's, I think, is a public-owned property. I mean, it isn't, so I voted for number 1.
Peggy.
Leave me alone, will you?
Well, me? Well, I voted for number 2. I think she very sure to me she looks like a surfer.
Orson Bean.
They're all sweet and lovely, but Tom and Peggy are wrong. It's number 3. Because she says probably instead of probably, and probably is a California-type mistake.
Oh.
You've hurt her feelings.
Kitty.
Well, I had to vote for number 3 because she very kindly helped me out when I forgot the real name of that beach near Santa Barbara, and she knew it. So I have to vote for number 3, and I think it's number 3.
Well, that makes it as widely split as it can be when 4 vote for 3. 1 for number 1, 1 for number 2, and 2 for number 3. Let's go with that. Find out now which one of these lovely young ladies, in truth, is Joyce Hoffman. Will the real Joyce Hoffman please stand up?
Thank
you very much. And I wish you many years of success. Continue.
Thank you.
Number 1, what is your real name and what do you really do?
My name is Susie Dalton, and I'm a student at the Convent of the Sacred Heart in New York City.
And number 2, what is your real name and what do you do?
My name is Carol Dewar, and I'm a United Airlines stewardess based here in New York.
Well, the score should make you happy because there were 2 incorrect votes, and that means, of course, that's twice $250 for a nice fat total of $500, ladies. May it bring you great happiness as you brought to us tonight. Thank you for that. Good night, and God bless you. And now a word about Anison, our 3rd team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is John Downing.
My name is John Downing.
My name is John Downing.
Follow along once again, panel, if you will, please. I, John Downing, work for the United States Atomic Energy Commission. It is my job to travel all over the world inspecting atomic reactors and stocks of atomic materials which have been transferred to foreign nations by the United States government. The purpose of my inspection is to verify that all the nuclear material is being used not for the manufacture of atomic weapons, but for purely peaceful purposes. In my role as a sort of atomic detective, I have inspected more than 150 separate facilities in 20 different countries. Signed, John Downing. Panel, these 3 gentlemen all claim to be John Downing. Let's start this one with Tom Poston. Tom?
Oh, thank you, Bud. Number 2, what are these peaceful purposes to which atomic materials can be used?
Production of electric power, various scientific research and development uses.
Number 3, could you describe the nature of the known risk when using atomic energy for electric power?
Exposure to the fuel elements when they leave the reactor, exposure to the raw material, fissionable materials when they go into the reactor.
Number 1, would you say that that risk has been minimized to the extent that these are not dangerous, these reactors, for use of making electric energy, number 1?
Not to the risk that they are not dangerous. They still are dangerous. Yes.
Would you say that they can be used close to large cities or close to people?
Oh, yes.
Large amounts?
Not close to people, but close to the reactors, yes.
Close to large cities?
Yes.
Number 2, are they used largely throughout the world?
Yes, they are, and the use is...
Peggy Cass.
Well, number 3, if they're dangerous to people, how come they're safe around large cities?
I was speaking of the personnel who work with the reactors, putting in fuel and taking out fuel.
I see, sort of. Number 1, how do you transport atomic material?
Well, you have a tub that you carry it in. It's encased, yes, it's encased in concrete with steel around the outside of it.
Thank you. Number 2, could you tell me some of these countries we're giving these reactors to?
Old Germany, Greece, Israel, Turkey, Japan.
How many do you want?
Oh, well, I'm surprised. I always thought they were so secret. Number 3, you're going to think I'm dumb, but what is an atomic reactor?
It is a device for creating a chain reaction.
Oh, like at the University of Chicago.
That's correct.
I see, thank you. Number 1, oh, dear me, I don't know anything about stuff like this. Oh, they know it too.
Orson B.
We don't have any, that's what
Number 1, what does the name Röntgen mean to you?
He's one of the founders of the atomic energy.
Number 3, how is atomic waste disposed of?
It's encased in lead, then in concrete, and either buried in the ground in remote areas or dumped out at sea.
Number 3, do you know where the atomic plant is in Long Island, New York? Atomic testing?
Number 2?
Number 3.
Number
again.
3.
Oh, atomic testing in...
Yeah, not peaceful use of it.
Well, at Brookhaven.
All right. Number 2, what plans are there for an atomic desalinization plant in Israel?
This is proceeding with the assistance of the International Atomic Energy Agency.
All right. Number 1, what is antimatter?
Antimatter? This is matter that has been brought in or introduced to react against.
Number 2, what is antimatter?
Antimatter is a concept that every particle in the world has its corresponding opposite number, and...
Have you questioned yet, Kitty?
No, I haven't. I'm waiting.
I wondered why that
Number 2, what's an isotope?
Kitty.
An isotope is one of several forms of the same element.
Used in peaceful uses of atomic energy?
Yes.
Number 1, who's the head of the Atomic Energy Commission?
Dr. Seberg.
Number 3, the Air Force shot off a rocket recently. What was the name of it? Do you know?
It's the NERVA program, Nuclear Engineering Rocket Propellant.
What was the difference in the fuel this time? Can you tell me?
You mean of the launching vehicle?
Yes.
Or of the... Well, the launching vehicle was a usual liquid rocket propellant. The third stage was an ionization nuclear propellant.
Number 2, didn't they use solid fuel in this launching at all?
Yes, they did use solid fuel.
In which part?
It was strapped on at the side.
Of the rocket itself?
Of the booster itself.
I see. Number 1, have you ever been to China?
That's all the time we have. It's time for you now to take a slow boat back to your ballots and mark them, if you will, please. Mark them at once, without change, without any consultation. Just vote. Don't consult, vote. Vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. All ballots marked? Through and through. Very well, Tom. For whom did you vote?
I voted for number 2. I thought they were all extremely knowledgeable. I would like to have had a chance to ask them, maybe I will after the show, why we don't have more. Since it's the risk is small, why we don't have more? Because of cheap sources of electricity, we could use it here as well as other countries.
Peggy.
Well, I was for 3 until 2 told me that they had all that regular gasoline strapped to the booster, so then I voted for him.
It's a regular gasoline.
Oh, regular, whatever it is.
Orson
Solid fuel, whatever that is.
Orson B.
Just a pretty face with not behind it. They're all great. 3 is incredible what he knows, but I voted for 2. I didn't vote for 1 because Röntgen is not one of the founding fathers. Röntgen is a little, how much you measure of something, I don't know, like that peanut butter. Number 2 gets my vote.
Oh,
Kitty.
Oh, well, I voted for number 2. I ruled out 1 because I thought that Röntgen was that fellow that invented the X-ray machine.
Well, that's what it's named after him.
Oh, well, anyway, when number 2 said to me that it was solid fuel, I read that in the paper. It was solid fuel strapped on to the last rocket that went up.
So you've made it unanimous. All 4 votes for number 2. Let's go with that and see what's what, shall we? As we learn now, which one of these gentlemen, in truth, is John Downing? Will the real John Downing please stand up? Thank you, sir. Well, you're smart tonight, pal. That was a real good one. Incidentally, in his role as atomic inspector, Mr. Downing works very closely with the International Atomic Energy Agency in Vienna, Austria. Number 1, what is your real name and what do you really do?
My name is Howard Crosby, and I oversee the building of all mental hospitals for the state of New York.
And number 3, what is your real name and what do you do, sir?
My name is Richard Gross. I'm director of the export division of Stone & Company in Savannah, Georgia. We export foodstuffs.
Well, the score shows it's no incorrect vote, but in that case, there still is $150 that comes your way. Coming your way also is our genuine thanks. We hope you enjoyed your visit to us. Thank you, good night, and God bless you. Right now, let's take time out for a brief film. Back in a minute. That's all we have time for. Thanks for making it go so fast, panel.
Right, bud?
Good night, Bud.
Correct.
Good night to all of you. Good night for Winston. And, of course, we'll see you next week at the same time, and I assume that I'll be seeing you tomorrow afternoon in the daytime show. But in the meantime, don't you forget to tell the truth. Bye.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.
Stay tuned for the fun and games with Jane Meadows as the challenger and Steve Pannell as the question posers on I've Got a Secret, next on CBS.
Work training opportunities are needed this summer for Americans 16 to 21. The Agire Reynolds Tobacco Company, recently cited for their participation in this project, urges employers to support the President's Youth Opportunity Campaign. This is Johnny Olson speaking. For To Tell the Truth, the program was pre-recorded.